Blah, blah, blah. Whatever you say.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us for our Reddit Stories, Christmas edition. Happy holidays. And today we'll dive into a couple of separate malicious compliance stories and their reactions. Coming up we have I have to wrap all the Christmas presents myself. Okay, I'll make that known. Merry Christmas on a cup. Financial Christmas wishes. And last but not least, you must actually teach on the last day before Christmas break. Hi, this is Derek. I just put the drama llama, Fred, back in his pen so that I can do this quick video for you with some of the stuff that Fred found on Reddit earlier today. If this is your first time watching our videos, help me out by watching to the end, and then giving me some feedback in the comment area below. And if you want more of these videos daily, don't forget to like and subscribe, with notifications turned on for this channel. Oh boy, let's get ready for some deep-seated revenge. Dusty Bronco posted, I have to wrap all the Christmas presents myself. Okay, I'll make that known. When I was a kid, my dad could really be a pecker sometimes. He broke rules all his life but would swiftly and gleefully punish me if I didn't do exactly what he wanted without question. Well, one Christmas season we went out shopping for my mom and spent the whole day crawling the mall. When we got back home, he told me that I would be wrapping all the presents myself. You're not going to help me? No, I paid for them, you can wrap them. I was 12 years old, was I expected to buy presents? I knew better than to fight with him though, so I did exactly what he asked. And when it came time to sign the from line on each presents tag, I wrote my name and my name alone. After all, if he was here, he could sign it. Heck, if he checked the presents before Christmas he could sign them. But of course he didn't. And when we unwrapped presents, my mom wondered out loud why every gift to her was from me. He got so mad and tried to make me feel bad about it. But when I explained it in front of both of them, he got quiet and stopped. From that point on, I had help wrapping each year. What are your thoughts on Dusty Bronco's story? Please share in the comments below. Now let's go on to hear how some Reddit members reacted to this story. Teresa Chall reacted with, served him right. Exactly how did he expect a kid to get anything good without money? When kids don't have money. My parents had us pay for Christmas presents every year by the time we were 13. To be fair, when we turned 15 we were all expected to have jobs. So we essentially had 2 years of savings to go through before we could work, per my state's laws. Gree reacted with, I would gladly wrap all the presents except things that were to be my gift. One year mom asked me to make decorations for gift certificates. I'm a wrapping nerd. And all I said was don't use these on my gifts. Lo and behold, she got me to make my own Christmas gift decorations. I have wrapped everyone's gifts for as long as I can remember. My mom and I would go to my grandma's and I would wrap. While my grandma made us dinner and my mom would hand me boxes and write gift tags. Every single time, there would be a few nondescript boxes that ended up being for me. I would hand out presents on Christmas morning and go, hey, wait a minute. Modi reacted with, if my child did that, I'd enjoy it and look back on it with wistful pride for the rest of my life. The only part of the story that bothers me is the dad wanting credit for the gifts. Both of our kids bought gifts for us. Of course we paid for them, but they picked them out, wrapped them and put their own names in the from spot. I thought that was common. Wasn't that story just crazy? Now let's go on to our next story. Trust me, I'm a consultant posted, Merry Christmas on a cup. That happened a few years ago. I'm fairly sure you'll remember how the war on Christmas was raging. And some people thought they make a statement by demanding that the Starbucks employee writes Merry Christmas on their cup. Because then they would have to say Merry Christmas. Which they allegedly must not say. Why is beyond me, but hey. Starbucks sure didn't complain since these people usually don't buy a coffee there. And, well, any money is good money. Anyway, one of them came in and ordered the smallest, cheapest coffee they had. And made a spectacle out of wanting it for Merry Christmas. He deflated a tiny bit when the barista simply nodded. And was absolutely unfazed. Obviously he wasn't the first one to order one. Stood there and waited for a while until he was called for. Mary? With a very obvious stress on this way of pronouncing it. There is more than a subtle difference between Mary and Mary. And this was very obviously Mary. The store was already snickering at this point. And the guy went to the barista, who looked at him wide-eyed. "You are Mary?" "I tease Mary. Merry Christmas." The barista looked down and muttered, "My apologies, ma'am. It was absolutely not my intention to assume your gender." This is where the store lost it and the guy left. What are your thoughts on Trust Me, I'm a Consultant story? Please share in the comments below. Now let's go on to hear how some Reddit members reacted to this story. Kira Jane Les Mis reacted with, "I say Mary and Mary exactly the same way." Me too. I've been saying them back and forth to myself after reading this. And I just can't hear the difference. Good story anyway. Lol. I've been trying to figure out the difference as well. What works for me is not trying to compare Mary to Mary, but compare the name Mary to how you say the first word in the phrase Merry Christmas. I seem to slightly elongate the ah sound in Mary. It is subtle. I was whispering them to myself, trying to hear a difference. Not everyone pronounces the difference. But the tongue is in a slightly different place in my mouth saying one versus the other. It's a subtle difference in sound, but I can tell. Wow. That was nuts. Now let's get into the next story. Frith Lynn posted, "Financial Christmas wishes." So at some point, not sure when I first heard this story, as I think this happened a little before I was born. If not, I was really little. But anyway. My parents asked the kids for what they wanted for Christmas. My elder sister asked for cold hard cash. Come Christmas, she was given a bunch of coins suspended in ice. Not one to be defeated, my sister tried again next year and asked for real paper money. So, it turns out that the Treasury Department shreds highly damaged bills every so often. And apparently there at least used to be ways to purchase the shredded remains of various types of dollar bill. Guess what my sister got for her birthday? She ended up using them as tinsel in an office party down the line during her 30s or 40s. Yes, she kept the bags that long. Now that got her to give up. But the story doesn't end there. Fast forward some decades and I'm in Japan getting ready to head home for a holiday vacation. And my sister asked me to bring some Japanese currency with me. See? My niece had heard the story apparently. And very cleverly asked for usable money. Edit, it might have been spendable money. At this point it's been about 2 or 3 years. Well, she never stipulated the money had to be usable in the US. Edit, for those asking, yeah, there were other gifts. My mother has a tradition of finding one goofy gift in addition to practical ones. Or ones that we were really wanting. In my opinion, sometimes those goofy gifts are the better ones. Also, the entire family is prone to pouncing on opportunities for pranks and jokes. I remember waking up with my furniture in the living room one day, due to the youngest of my elder brothers deciding it would be funny. What are your thoughts on Frithline's story? Please share in the comments below. Now let's go on to hear how some Reddit members reacted to this story. Hammer of the Heretics reacted with, "Heck, just give her some Monopoly money. She never stipulated what it had to be usable for. There are examples of currencies whose economic value was destroyed by hyperinflation that got used as wallpaper, toilet paper, etc. You said you want dollars? As luck would have it, I just got back from Zimbabwe and have billions of dollars to throw around." Miss Design Diva reacted with, "In my family we just wrap our presents with duct tape. Like all seams taped shut, sometimes we'll be nice and Sharpie on an arrow like this end up, but otherwise, good luck. Lol. Plus you never know which ones are duct tape. Because they all have regular pretty paper over top of it, so that's fun. It's become standard protocol to bring a pocket knife with you to Christmas morning, which we all do. I think this coming Christmas I'm gonna wrap my brother's present using a whole bunch of zip ties. Lol. Cause I saw it on Pinterest and it looks appropriately frustrating to deal with. Lol. We used to do the same thing. Usually it involved a full roll of duct tape. Then wrap it nicely and add packing tape around it just in case the wrapping paper ripped. Lothrazer reacted with, "This is technically malicious compliance, but I don't see why they had to be such peckers." Yeah. I do hope they actually gave her actual stuff as well as just crappy tinsel and foreign currency. As you say, not sure why they're being such peckers about it. I feel the whole, "Oh, but I wanted the gift to be nice and something they wanted" excuse kinda falls apart when you're deliberately effing kids over. Wow. That was interesting. Now let's get into the next story. Green Egg page posted, "You must actually teach on the last day before Christmas break." This story comes from my favorite teacher in high school, Charlie. The time was the 80s. He was a chemistry teacher. Mild, short man. But devious. If you tried to take a nap during his class, he would just keep talking. Walk over to the ammonia bottle, wet a rag, and drop it beside your head. All while acting like nothing was going on. Charlie, for quite some time, would let students have fun on the last day before break. Until the principal told him that he had to teach the kids something. So he complied. He set up an experiment for that day. The ingredients included sucrose, glucose, in solution, protein pellets. And, I had to look it up, 4-hydroxy-3-methoxybenzaldehyde. As the students happily performing their experiment, the principal sticks his head in the door to ensure that Charlie is actually having them do something productive and is happily surprised. Charlie fills him in on the experiment, in big scientific words. As the principal is about to leave, he remarks, "Why does it smell like peanut brittle in here?" And every year after that, we made peanut brittle on the last day of class for the semester. What are your thoughts on Green Egg Page's story? Please share in the comments below. Now let's go on to hear how some Reddit members reacted to this story. Homosexual Ronald reacted with, "My almost retired chemistry teacher would teach us about how skiing works, how to establish a still, is it flammable, and how explosives kill people and what the dead bodies are like afterwards. How many people would sniff a rag with butyric acid hung in the hallway with a sign 'Do not smell'? Ah yes. Mr. McCoy was an interesting old coot. How many people would sniff a rag with butyric acid hung in the hallway with a sign 'Do not smell'? My physics teacher would do the same thing with a charged Leyden jar. And a 'Do not touch' sign. Early capacitor, big shock. In my area we would have been able to do an experiment with pure sodium for fun. If it hadn't been for a kid who dropped a whole baseball-sized chunk in a thing of water. He got punishment enough right then and there." Ivan the Mute reacted with, "Nice. I was expecting something more like, okay, today they'll learn about nitrogen triiodide." Who Hayes reacted with, "I've done this experiment many times. My lesson came from a 1954 textbook by esteemed chemist, Betty Crocker. The first time was small, 2 batches. The last year I conducted the experiment it was something to the tune 125 pounds, 50 batches. Would give it as gifts, take it to work for both shifts. Even would drop off about 10 pounds at my dentist's office, big hit there. I had to stop due to carpal tunnel, too painful to properly agitate the solution." Wafer 2016 reacted with, "Ha ha ha. Awesome. When I was in school the last day was always reserved for fun. In elementary, Santa would go round and hand out lovely big candy canes to each kid. And we would make a Christmas craft. Junior high, we were free to roam from class to class playing board games we brought to school. And sharing Christmas treats. High school was just pure freedom. Board games, extra treats in the cafeteria, a movie in the gym." And finally, Stripped Poker reacted with, "My 4th grade teacher was a lot like your principal. At the beginning of the year she gave us a booklet and a calendar that she had printed. The booklet contained classwork that she expected us to do every day. Including during holidays and Saturdays in every subject. In other words, she had us do classwork 6 days a week and even if there were snow days. We were expected to do homework. We had to take all of our school books home every day during the winter months. To make sure that we didn't miss anything. whether we had homework in that class or not, to make sure we didn't miss out. That year, we had nearly a month of snow days and didn't get to enjoy much of it at all. Well, there you have it. A perfectly great set of reactions from a bunch of upstanding citizens. Help support this channel by smashing the like and subscribe buttons. And hit that silly little bell as well to ensure you get the latest videos as they come out. Fred is always finding stuff for me to post regularly. So this is Derek signing off. Thanks for watching. Good grief, it sounds like Fred is out of his pen again. He must have found more stories for me to share with you. See you soon.